I want to talk to you today about a mindset shift. And what is that mindset shift, right? A lot of times we are really, really excited about all the things that we're able to do, all the things that we're able to produce, all of the outcomes that we have, right? And we're so focused on, oh, I was able to do this, I was able to do that. I took this course. I got I graduated from college. I got this certification. I finished this boot camp. All of those are outcomes of what we actually did, right? And that makes us feel really, really good because we actually completed something. We did something. We have that outcome that is very, very internal, but it makes us feel absolutely fascinating. You learn something new. You picked up a new skill. You learn how to build websites. You learn how to build mobile apps. Whatever the case may be, you learned it benefited you, and that's great. And I'm very, very happy for you. The same way I'm really happy for me when I figure something out. You'll see me on a live stream and we'll be working on something so complicated and then we finally figure it out. It starts to work and we're super, super excited, right? And that's a great feeling. However, there is another aspect to it. And what is that aspect? That aspect is what about externally? What about the other people? And that's where what I believe was actually more important is the outcome. Because the output is for us, the outcome is for other people. Are people interacting with our things? Are people finding it useful? Are people finding it valuable? And with that, I think with that mindset shift, it is going to help us to put things into the right perspective to see, okay, how can we actually get something completed? How can we find how can we know what adds value? One of the like one of the toughest things that I see, like for the different things that I'm working on, I'll see something, I'll build something that's useful to me, but how can we figure out how is it going to be useful to other people? I think that's one of the biggest challenges that innovators have is finding that particular thing that other people are going to find useful. Welcome to the episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by your shitty Techo Draft, where we are engineered to win, or some of my friends like to say, I do my very, very best to annoy you to success. And if I'm able to do that, then I know that you are winning. So, outcomes over output. And why do I say that? So, as I was saying, one of the toughest things for I would say for engineers, for tech people, is to find we can build something. If you tell us you have a problem, we're gonna find a solution for it. One of our challenging aspects is finding finding out your problem without you telling us, because we're great, like, okay, oh, you have this problem, boom, I'll give you a solution in an hour. But not knowing what your problem is and still finding that solution for you. So finding out what your problem is and finding a solution for you, that is where it gets challenging. But that's where the outcomes over output, because we can like create prototypes all day, all night. We can wire them up, but if they are not serving a value to who we're delivering it to, then at the end of the day, it's like, you know what, nice job, Tiger, but it really doesn't help us move anything forward. It doesn't help us move the needle forward. So so it's something that I'm thinking about, that I'm realizing, all right, so what is our game plan for outcomes? It is so easy to continue to have different outputs here, there, and the other, but how do we actually take those outputs and put them towards being outcomes where people are finding it valuable, people want to interact, people want to engage, people are coming to you to say, okay, oh, I had like, so now they're coming to you knowing that you can actually solve their problems and you're able to provide solutions. And it's not an easy mindset shift. It's not easy whatsoever, but it is going to unlock so many doors for us once we can put our minds in the right perspective, right? So how do you do it though? How do you do it? I think the first way to get this mindset shift and I don't even know, like, I'm just spitballing it right now because I don't have any definite plan for it, but I'm just thinking, how can we shift our minds to be more outcome based instead of output based. And I think the first way, which might be the only way, but that I can think of, but and maybe I'll do some more videos throughout as I think of more ideas. But I think the first way is to when you identify a particular problem and you have some bit of output, staying focused on getting it to completion. So if you come up with a problem, right? If you come up with a problem or you find a problem and you come up with a solution for that problem, don't stop at just the that solution. What is Think about, okay, if I do come up with a solution for this problem, right? Let's say, okay, I found a problem. If I do find a way to fix it, what next? How am I going to deliver this? How am I going to make this something that other people can see and get value from and get feedback, and then I can get feedback on how I can make it better. A lot of times we do things and we're like, oh, cool. And now we move forward and we move to something else. And I am guilty of doing that so many times, right? And now I'm like, oh, well, it's kind of like the story, if a tree falls in the forest and doesn't make a noise, does like, if a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it really make a sound? Technically, it does, but not to the people who weren't there to hear it. So to me, I see the same thing as like, all right, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're building prototypes, we're wiring things up, but they're like, oh, cool, I can do it, and then we just like, oh, let me just move on to something else. Let me just move on to something else. We need to the same way we set goals, we need to set individual goals for the different things that we're working on, right? So that we can actually get outcomes to our output. You're not gonna get any outcomes if you don't have any output. But if you don't if you stop at the output, then nobody really cares about it. It doesn't really mean much. It doesn't take you anywhere. I'll give you a jujitsu example, right? There are a lot of people who will sign up and they'll just do the class, it's a hobby and stuff like that. But then they wonder, why are they not progressing fast enough? Why aren't they getting promoted in a certain time frame? All these different things, right? And for me, as someone who has competed maybe 2 to 3 times a year for the past 4 years, I look at the results of the competitions as the outcomes of the output of my training. So I used to train like almost 8 times a week. Now it's down to like 3 times a week. Just because as you get older, life and stuff like that. But the outcome or the output is my training on a consistent basis, doing the class, doing the drills, doing the like the sparring, the live training, when we were able to get together with other people, and train on the side, when we are, getting like keeping our health, eating correctly. All of those are outputs because, hey, you're dropping weight, great, that's an output. But what is the outcome of you dropping weight, right? It's not really anything. You feel great. Your output, you feel great because you are like you're healthy, you're exercising, you're eating right, all of those things, right? You're training, you might be getting dominant positions, you might be submitting people, great outputs. But what is the outcome, right? And the outcome, to me, the outcome is what, like, how do you do in a competition where there are things on the line, there's medals on the line, and sometimes your outcomes are very poor and sometimes they're great. But the thing is, you went out there for the outcome. The outcome will always outweigh the output because there is something on the line for the output. The journey, or for that, there's something on the line for the outcome. The journey, everything that you do, in the process, it's great. It's meaningful, but at the end of the day, what do you have to show for it? What do you have to show for it that other people actually care about? And that's why in sports, in everything, like in stocks and in companies comparing each other, they're looking at the valuations, they're looking at what's the worth in individual people, what's their net worth, like in these competitions, who's ranked number one, who has the belt, all those type of things matter, right? But those are all due to outcome. The output is the grind that you're doing day in and day out to get to a certain point. But if you do all that grind and then you don't actually do anything, then what's it worth? If you think of somebody like David Goggins, right? He trains like crazy, but even like with all his crazy training, but he's always like he his training takes him to another step where now he's doing these crazy 200-mile competition challenges, marathon type stuff where it's an outcome, like it's an outcome to all of the output that he's putting in. Because some of these applications that I'm working on, I'll spend months and months working on them, and there's a lot of output, a lot of time, a lot of dedication into it, right? But how is it going to do in the public sphere? And it might totally flop. Who knows? It might totally flop. It's a great learning experience, but the thing is, you're not going to learn anything of value if you don't actually put it out there in the public domain, put it in the public market. And that's why I say we need to focus on our outcomes. We need to be more dedicated to finishing the job, right? I think it was Kobe Bryant. He always had the saying, "Job's not finished. Job's not finished." The job isn't done because okay. So let's put it like this. Let's say you build an application, right? And so now you have the output. The application is built. Okay, great, awesome job. But you don't tell anybody about it. So there's no outcome. So now you start to tell people about it. You get somebody to sign up. Now you have now you have an outcome. You have a sign up. A sign up is an outcome. And you're like, okay, well, I am not familiar with marketing. Let me learn about marketing, or let me hire somebody who does marketing. So now there's a bunch of output of building out the marketing campaigns, building out your ads, figuring out what platforms you're gonna have what ads, the schedule, all that different thing, right? So many different outputs. You start creating your ads, you create videos, you create pictures, whatever the case may be. You set a budget, for your whole marketing campaign. Great, perfect. So many different outcomes, right? Or so see, I keep confusing words. So many different outputs. All those things are outputs. Now your campaign starts to run. You're starting to get visitors to your application. You're checking your analytics. You see there's people coming in. Great. Those are great outcomes, but that's a start. Now, and outcomes are super duper progressive because every time you have one out, it's funny. Outputs lead to outcomes. Outcomes lead to more outputs, and more outputs lead to more outcomes, right? Because now, all right. So now your marketing campaign is going, and you're getting more visitors, right? But let's say so now your outcomes are more visitors, but you actually want more signups. So, okay, so now you start to do your investigation. Okay, why are people signing up? They're getting stuck here. So now I'm investigating my application. Okay, maybe this isn't the best user experience. So let's make some modifications. The modifications that you make, those are your outputs. Now you have to tweak your marketing campaign, and now you start looking. Okay, oh now I'm getting visitors, but I'm getting more signups onto my application. Now you're getting the outcomes that you want. You're getting outcomes because you are actually adding value. Outputs add value to you, outcomes add value to other people. And I think they're both very, very important. But if you're only adding value to you, then you're only taking part of a super small segment of the population, and that is you. And while I build things that help me, I'm also like I also want to see how I can add value, what people need, and then that's where the money comes in. You can look at this from a relationship perspective, from a entrepreneurship perspective, from working and corporate perspective. You can come up with so many cool ideas, so many cool solutions, but if they do not add value to the actual company or to your actual customer, then at that point you just learn something cool, but it doesn't really help anybody else. So my message to you is we need to focus on outcomes because and have your maybe if we work our way backwards, right? Where do we want to be? What is the outcome that we want to achieve? And then we try to figure out, okay, what are the outputs we need to achieve those outcomes? And then that is going to be a whole mindset shift that is going to help us deliver to not only to ourselves, but we're thinking customer focused first. What can I deliver to my customers that is also going to help me learn and grow and all these different things? And it's always going to be that cycle, output, outcome, output, outcome, output, outcome. But the thing is, what I've learned from all the things that I do, we need to stop being output, 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 output. You're not going to get any outcomes without any output, but we can't just jump from output to output to output to output. We need to set a clear goal, a clear focus. Okay, this is the output that I want, and it can be even more time based, time sensitive. Maybe setting a smart goal over what it is that we're trying, over what the outcome is that we're trying to achieve. And once we achieve that particular, and now we can, okay, these are the outcomes that I need to achieve this outcome, and blast it out. So once you have the output completed, now you blast it out to the world so that they can come back and say, okay, oh, this is useful. Oh, this part of it isn't useful. And you can continue that iterative cycle so that you can win that way, because outputs, you're not going to win. You're going to have some victories, but you're not going to win. You might, if you think about sports, you might win the quarter, you might win the play, but you're not going to win the actual game. You're not going to win the series, right? So ultimately, we want our outcomes to speak for us. The outputs make us feel good. The outcomes help other people, which actually going to make us feel even better, because we see that our work is being valued, is being used, and that's the goal that I'm going for. That's what I want to do. All right. So I'm shifting my mindset. I'm going to be focusing on outcomes driven by my outputs, but maybe it's time to start limiting the different type of outputs that we have. So we have very focused. What is the outcome that we're looking to do? And let's go out there and deliver it. Let's go out there and win. Let's go out there and be victorious, right? Let me know what your thoughts. What do you guys think? Do you should you do it just for yourself and just focus on the outputs, or are you doing it to win the long game so that you can add value and grow in your business, in your career, in your relationships, looking for the outcomes over just like, oh, I did this, I did that, I did that. Oh, great, but what value did it actually bring? We need to be more value focused, and instead of just, oh, I have a task list. No, I added value by completing this and delivering it, and people are appreciative and they're using it and they're paying for it. See, and that's the icing on top. They are paying for it. We're running it up. We are making money. All right. Anyways, that is my thought. Let me know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Please let me know. Do you think that outcomes are more important than outputs, or outputs are way more important than outcomes? I would love to hear your thoughts behind it. Am I off on this? Let me know. All right. Let me know. Do me a favor as we wrap up the show. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time we go live and drop new content. As well, go to techwithdrop.dev, sign up today so that you can join us for our next vibe code and chill session. You can join us for our next Scrum night. You can join Discord and join the conversation, as I am trying to build a network of people who can actually help each other grow in their careers, grow in this tech game, educational wise, all these different type of things. We just had a vibe code and chill session this past weekend. I shared with the people who joined about coaching, about the dynamics of coaching. We look over math GPT, which we spoke about on a live stream the other day, and we were working on a prototype for Scrum Masters, of like a Scrum Master AI for teams that do not have Scrum Masters, but they want to work in a very efficient Scrum environment. So we were building that, all that good stuff. So join us for Vibe Code and Chill. Watch the playback, all of that good thing. TechWithDrop.dev. And thank you to our sponsor, Resume Flow. Go and upload your resume. Get some instant feedback on how the applicant tracking system sees your resume, and then put in a job to see how well you match up to that job, and you can apply smarter. You can apply smarter, get hired, get that interview, go through the process instead of just waiting and hoping and just applying, and not getting any feedback and feeling unwanted, unghosted. It's not you that's not unwanted. It's your resume that's unwanted. So go ahead and fix up your resume. All right. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Monday, a wonderful week. Let's hit the week strong. Let's get out there and win. Take a trough. We are out.
breeze. People go like a summer breeze, whisper through my life, then vanish with ease. I ain't stuck replaying those fading tracks. Eyes on the road, no looking back. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
They say you need roots, but I'm chasing skies. I'll plant my feet when the moment's right. I'm a rolling stone, not a chain to bind. Freedom in my veins is the state of mind.
They come with words like they mean forever, but forever's just a fleeting endeavor. I won't lean on what I can't control. I am whole on my own, I keep my soul. I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
Dependency's a prison I won't call home. No one knows my journey, I'm on my own. Forward is the anthem, the beat I drum. The past is a shadow, the future's the sun.
I've seen faces fade like mist at dawn. Memories linger, but the moment's gone. I'm not bitter, just wiser with time. Each goodbye's a lesson that sharpens my mind.
Waves will crash and tides will shift. I'm the captain steering through the rift. No anchors here, I sail to the new. The horizon's bright with a better view.
I don't care too much about who stays or leaves. Life's a wave I ride, no room for grief. What's ahead is gold, what's gone is dust. Never lean too hard, never break that trust.
The ones who stay are the real foundation. Others just lessons in life's rotation. I'm not bitter, I just understand. The future's my treasure, it's in my hands.